I'm going based on interviews and music here. He just seems so lame. And that's why sometimes when he raps and sings about some of the things that he sings about, I'm like, is that you? You? Huh?
Rihanna accused Drake of not being able to make his own music. Drake has faced criticism from other artists, also regarding his songwriting practices. Drake has faced substantial criticism regarding the authenticity of his music, particularly concerning the use of ghostwriters.
I think it's safe to say that Rihanna is a very desirable person. She's beautiful, she's talented, she's done amazing in her career, so what's not to like? And superstar Drake definitely likes Rihanna, maybe a little bit too much. It's giving creepy and obsessive, and despite them having some friendship and, romantic links, it seems like Drake has a little bit more love for Rihanna than she does him, and their relationship is complicated.
Rihanna and Drake, once close collaborators and friends, have had a public falling out following their breakup. Recent reports suggest that Rihanna has criticized Drake and questioned the authenticity of his music. She claims Drake is heavily reliant on ghostwriters and lacks originality in his work.
And it's really interesting because he's saying, like, he never feels little around people, but Rihanna did this to him. And, I think he's so used to women, like, swooning all over him that she's probably the first one that's like, no thank you, and clearly he can't accept it.
Drake and Rihanna's relationship has seen significant highs and lows over the years. Initially close collaborators and friends, their relationship turned sour after their breakup. Reports suggest that Rihanna now views Drake as creepy, especially due to his persistent attempts to follow her and stay involved in her life even after their relationship ended.
That Drake just does too much. Whether you're a fan of his or not, I think we can all collectively agree that he just does too much, and sometimes he goes overboard and he likes to appear that he doesn't care about much. He doesn't care about Rihanna. He doesn't care about the fact that, that it just isn't going to be anymore. I think Drake is still hung up over Rihanna, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't blame him. I think that Drake is just simply annoying, and that's okay. Annoying is not the worst word to be called, but Drake just does too much, and to the point where it's like, I can't even keep up anymore, and it's happening quite frequently.
Notably, Drake has faced accusations of stealing other artists' styles, especially Big Sean's flow. Big Sean claimed that Drake appropriated his super-duper flow, a punchline-heavy style, without using like or as for similes.
Sean is up in here. Big Sean, let me ask you this, man. What's your feeling with Drake?
Man, Drake is my homie, man. He gave me a lot of credit because, I came up with the rhyme scheme a lot of people thought he came up with. I call it the super duper flow, but it's the flow. He kind of made it more popular on that song Forever with him, Wayne, and Drake. It was kind of the one-word punchline. I did it on my second mixtape I released like in 2009, where I was like, I'm super duper trooper, used to the bottom, scuba. Or I just give them line after line after line after line, barcode.
This style, also known as #rap, was popularized by Big Sean, but Drake used it in several tracks, leading to tensions between the two rappers.
And he kind of took that and used it, on his track. A lot of people thought he did it.
Right.
And,
You're like, you stole my stuff.
No, but the thing is, he gave me credit for it like a real G, man.
So when we hear Drake do kind of like that throwaway, you call it the super duper.
I call it the super duper.
All right, so when we hear that, the flaws and you just
yeah.
All right.
And it's crazy because the whole rap game did it, man. So
you don't love about a man that it's
crazy.
love, though.
Yeah.
And I love that they
could have
threw
been
it back to
legitimate.
you.
Yeah, that could have been legitimate, like, man,
That was
it could have
Drake.
been a
Taking
legitimate
credit, yep.
Yeah, Drake, I just talked to Drake a couple days ago, man. He's a good dude. He was wishing me all the best, man.
Drake has been accused by Soulja Boy of copying his flow and lyrics. In an interview, Soulja Boy claimed that Drake stole his style from the song Kiss Me Through the Phone for Drake's track Miss Me. Soulja Boy asserted that Drake copied his entire flow and lyrics, sparking significant attention and debate among fans.
Everybody know Drake stole my flow, bro, and that's the end of it. He took a line from you and you took the same line from another nigga. And you fat as
Drake has faced criticism from some black artists for various reasons, mostly for stealing their women.
I don't know, probably.
Yo, is that why everybody's mad at your boy?
Because
No, because he
I think people just hate on Drake because he's the guy. It's no, like, who?
I feel like there's something extra on it.
It's also probably everyone's, yeah.
My suspicion was like, yo, this shit gotta be personal.
I mean, he's also that guy though. All the records, all the numbers, like he's the one.
How hard was that beat for you? Like, I'm sure you're friends with everybody in Atlanta. You're
getting
friends
shouted out in the song.
Yeah.
In Euphoria.
You're being pulled in different directions. You want to be loyal.
I just wish I had never spoke on it. That's the only thing that was the only part. I wish I hadn't said anything about it.
Drake has utilized AI technology to create songs that feature his voice and even the voices of other iconic rappers. Recently, he released a track that used AI-generated vocals of Tupac and Snoop Dogg in a diss track aimed at Kendrick Lamar.
Have you been seeing like all this AI shit with the artists?
That shit sounds horrible.
I don't know. That Drake and Weeknd song, that's called Heart on My Sleeve by Ghostwriter.
That shit is ass, bro. This is why AI is gonna win, because there's people like him that are actually gonna stream the fucking song, even though it's not the original artist.
I'm not gonna stream it. All I'm saying is that, yo, we need to watch for these AI bots. Like, they're going crazy. That don't sound just like Drake?
It sounds like him, but it also sounds like
Drake's collaboration with freestyle artist Headie One has sparked controversy, with critics arguing it negatively impacted the music scene, diverging from their original styles and disappointing longtime fans.
With Drake, a lot of people like to do this thing where it's like, oh, did Drake ruin the song? Oh, did the UK guy have a better verse than him and all that sort of stuff? Because we saw the same thing happen when he collabed with Headie One. And he did the Only You freestyle, I think that's what it's called. And people were saying that, like Drake ruined it, or Drake had a crap verse and this, that, and the third. And even when you think about going as far back to Wanna Know Remix, there's always that narrative that kind of taints the song a bit, where it's like, did Drake ruin it? Was Drake needed? Or could someone else on the scene have done this? Or da-da-da-da-da. Whereas as a freestyle, I think it does make sense.
Kanye used Drake as an example to expose the industry's hip-hop secrets, revealing rampant practices like stealing music and ghostwriting.
If you are creative and you design the Yeezy 1s and then Yeezy 2s and they say you can't design nothing else, that would be like if I made Jesus Walks and they said I couldn't make Late Registration. That would be like if Drake made his first single and they say he couldn't make another single. That's how they was playing it. And then the point where the Yeezys get such an impact and they say, but you can't even have royalties. It's industries. These industries have been set up like the coal industry, like the music industry. It's something different to the way these billionaires run the world. And we not a part of that. We've only been let in on a communication level. It's a new form of cotton that we all picking.
Drake's controversial reputation deepens as he faces accusations of liking young girls and trafficking, painting a troubling picture of his personal life.
Cat Williams said this will be the year of truth, and it looks like he's right. Kendrick dropped a diss track on Drake that revealed he likes girls not of age. And everyone started to dig into Drake's background and found he had relationships with Millie Bobby Brown, 14, Kylie Jenner, 16, and SZA, 17, all of which illegal. And that pretty much confirmed that he liked young girls. But then other women started coming forward to talk about how Drake and his entourage would make them go into the ex-traffic business. His bodyguard actually made one woman be a part of their ring against their will. Drake has also been friends with a known predo. And now the feds are investigating Drake too. Drake has already sold his US properties in anticipation.
He reportedly doesn't respect women and has been accused of pursuing other artists' partners, amplifying his negative image.
The other part where he says, I don't even really think you like women. That's not just him saying, I don't think he's saying, yo, Drake, like, you gay.
Yeah.
He's saying, like, you one of those guys you like, but don't really like women.
Right.
There's a difference. There's guys that like, but they don't really have the respect for women that they should. And, people always say Drake is a misogynist and things of that nature.
Right. With many haters, some argue Drake deserves the backlash, especially considering the industry's pervasive culture of stealing lines and lyrics.
I like Drake's music. I'm not a big music listener in general, which is precisely why I say stuff like, I like Drake's music.
Do you feel like if you're at the top, you just have a shitload of haters?
Yes, but he also is like deserving, I think, of the hatred and also all of the criticisms, whether it be him being really gross and grooming minors, which he absolutely has done. There's a model that he was flicked up at her Sweet 16, freshly 16 years old. And then he went on a date with her the night that she turned 18, I think. There was a girl talking on Adam 22's podcast being like, yeah, like Drake followed me. He would come to our high school basketball tournaments.
Whatever it is, I've learned that it's so different than what I'm used to, because I generally am not a hater. And this is some generational level hate. Literally so crazy where I'm starting a song and it's like he's apologizing to Drake's son. And I'm like, How the
Dude,
fuck can you start a
It
song
is
like this?
cutthroat. It is, yeah.
It was awesome.
It is hate on steroids. It's crazy.
Generational level hating.
It's so dope.
Eminem has commented on the state of the hip-hop industry, noting that everyone steals each other's lines.
I will never forget, and he will always be in my graces with that. And I like Drake. What I'm telling you with these lines is, I don't know what's real and what's not at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear shit about this rapper, that rapper, whatever. I'm telling you that I don't do it, never have, and never will. If I ever need a ghostwriter, I need to just put the mic down. You know what I'm saying? So that's my personal belief. As far as anybody out here that does use ghostwriters, that's fine. If that's what you do, that's fine. But I'm telling you, I don't do it. Hip hop was the most important thing that empowered me as a kid. It made me feel, I have a line where I say it made me feel tough when I wasn't.
Yeah.
When I was a scrawny little kid, growing up on 8 Mile, walking a fucking block, hip hop probably was, I mean, it was like my dad. Hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And it was the only thing that made me empowered. It made me feel good about myself. And when I started being able to write rhymes and figured out I could do it, that's where the feeling comes from to me. Because the excitement is being able to come up with the shit. You know what I'm saying? It taught me how to throw my first punch, gave me the confidence to be able to throw my first punch and to realize, not only that, the fact that Proof used to beat all the time in the backyard boxing, and one time he beat me like literally to the ground.
Eminem's observation underscores a broader issue in the music industry, where originality and authenticity are frequently called into question.
I was always under the impression that every rapper wrote their rhymes, and when you heard about Kumo D battling Busy B, it was who's bringing the best rhymes to the table. You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna be able to say the best shit? Who's the cleverest and the wittiest? And then years later, fast forward, you hear Eazy-E saying Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say. And I remember being a kid, like hearing the line, but it never really, I just didn't really care. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really affect the way I felt about Eazy-E or the way I felt about NWA.
Kendrick Lamar's music is often deemed more valuable than Drake's, highlighting a significant divide in artistic merit.
Because it's not something that most people are involved in, so they might look at it from afar and go, what are they talking about?
100%. What are these grown men doing?
Yeah.
Back and forth bickering at each other. But battle rap is obviously, it's a bastion of hip hop, and I encourage anyone to go look at like the battle rap greats, which Kendrick and Drake are not battle rappers, but it is a crucial component of the genre.
All right, so with all that said then, is the music actually any good? Is it worth listening to?
Oh, look, I feel like, and I'm not being biased, as a rap fan, Kendrick's side in particular is sensational. Having spoken to him myself over 10 years ago about his dedication to the craft, how he is so committed to the art of rap, the way he shifts tone, his cadence. He's a student of black music throughout the decades, so he's...
Critics often describe Drake's music as non-worthy, finding his lyrics to be hilarious and nonsensical. They argue that his songs lack the depth and authenticity that define great hip-hop.
When old heads used to talk about how cringy and corny Drake was, I genuinely used to think that they were hating. It used to annoy me so much. I thought he was the coolest. Now that I'm looking back on it, this man was the king of cringe. Like, what the frick is this and scene as post, bruh? Oh, my mama, I remember when I first saw this in my early teens. I thought this was so cool, bruh. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought this was the coolest thing ever. You got the fire in the background. You got the gunshots. Oh, my mama, this was corny. But no matter what happens in this beef, I'll always be somewhat of a Drake fan. Just hold on, we're coming home. Coming home.
For many, his attempts at emotional resonance fall flat, resulting in tracks that are more comedic than impactful. Despite his commercial success, this criticism highlights a perceived superficiality in his music, leading some to question his place in the pantheon of hip-hop greats.
Be AI, because Drake, what the hell are you doing, brother? Oh, I go under la no, bruh.
You not feeling that?
I'm not feeling that, bruh. I'm not gonna lie. I know all the Toronto people are gonna say it's not for Americans. It wasn't for us. It's a Toronto
That's what
song.
I've been seeing. That's what I've been seeing.
Drake, seen as cringe by many, even faced rejection from Bobbi when he tried to hit on her, further tarnishing his image.
So apparently Bobbi Althoff and Drake have unfollowed each other on Instagram, and she seems to have deleted any and all content of them on her socials. Look at this. Like, literally, look. It's crazy because she was literally at the Drake show yesterday. Like, look at her TikTok. Like, she was literally at Drake's show yesterday. So I mean, but check this out. So there's no interview on her page, like, at all, and she might have to delete the Yachty one, which is the best one right now because Yachty and Drake are best friends. This was literally like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so he doesn't follow her. Also, someone said this to me. I'm not looking at people's following like any and all day. And she doesn't follow him. And like literally, like she was at the concert yesterday. So I don't know, but to me it seems mad fishy. Like, extremely. Everyone in the comments is saying he tried to hit and then got rejected. But like, I don't think it's that. I think there's a much deeper meaning behind it. So what do you guys think? Let me know. But yeah, this is really weird, especially seeing as she went to the concert last night.
Artists like Metro Boomin and Kendrick Lamar reportedly refused to collaborate with Drake, hinting at underlying industry tensions.
Not only is this album fantastic, but it is pretty much solidified that neither of these two are working with Drake ever again. Because on the song Like That Travis was begging to be played at Rolling Loud, we get an unexpected feature from Kendrick Lamar. And Kendrick pulls no punches in delivering one of, if not the best rap verse that we have heard all year. Remember J. Cole's verse on Drake's first-person shooter talking about the big three with Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar? Well, if you look right up here, Kendrick Lamar wants no part of this, saying the big three, yeah, it's just me. The first time I heard this last night, it reminded me of why I listen to albums right when they drop. It's one of those types of moments where your eyes widen, your jaw drops, and you immediately log onto Twitter and see what people are saying about this. The big three diss, yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg here. There is a lot of context here that honestly I just don't feel like going over right now. Particularly the line where he says Prince outlived Mike Jack. Just think about that for a bit when you think of Drake. But with this insane diss from Kendrick lying on this album, it pretty much solidifies that Metro has chosen his side in who he decides to produce for. And the results, well, they kind of speak for themselves.
Drake's use of ghostwriters undermines his credibility, raising questions about authenticity in hip-hop.
The real rap beef is Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, not Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Even though they've always been viewed as peers, Cole and Kendrick have been taking jabs at each other, going back and forth for years now. But let's jump right into the top of 2022 with Johnny P's Caddy, where many people initially believed J. Cole was dissing Benny the Butcher on his own song.
The beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar adds another layer to this critique. Tensions between the two have been brewing for years, fueled by lyrical jabs and competitive posturing. Kendrick, known for his thought-provoking lyrics and complex storytelling, has subtly called out Drake in tracks like Control and The Heart Part 4.
People are not talking about this cover enough. Ignore everything else about this rap beef. Everything else. Doesn't matter what came before, what's going to after. Everything else, all right? This picture alone is some horror movie level psychological torment. Kendrick said to Drake, hey buddy, just want to let you know that there are people around you that don't even like you, and they're just there for a check. In fact, people in your closest circle are willing to flip on you. And on top of that, I've got people in OVO. To which Drake was just like, nah, I'm gonna put out my track. And then 30 minutes later, Kendrick responded with this. Before he even rapped a singular lyric, he responded with a picture from inside of Drake's house.
He positions himself as a true artist, contrasting his work's substance against what he views as Drake's more commercial, less meaningful output.
Deep question, but would you take a deal if one was in front of you today to take that leap and get like a full-on record deal if you had the opportunity to today?
It depends. I would say yeah, because
I say yeah because I'm not about to miss an opportunity if it makes sense. But then I say no because I already went through a label and I know how it feels, so I know exactly what to do if I had the right, money or team behind me. It don't really take a label.
No, you're right. Yeah, and you can do it independent nowadays.
Like,
So.
I'm in a way, I'm doing it already.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Despite facing accusations of using ghostwriters, Drake has received support from fellow artists like Nicki Minaj. She has defended Drake's songwriting abilities, asserting that writing collaboratively is a common practice in the music industry and that it doesn't diminish an artist's credibility.
Drake writes for himself and others. If y'all think that Drake give me a break. Let me tell you something.
I don't think he doesn't write. I don't think he does not write.
Okay,
That's
so
not,
every single rapper has had someone lay a reference track for them or something and said, here, I did an idea for you. I did a hook for you. It's up to you as an artist what you take and what you don't. But that happens with everyone because people go in and do hooks. And some people will put something in there.
That's allowed in the game.
Of course.
Like a hook, couple bars.
The industry itself is frightening, with artists signing lengthy 14-year contracts that limit creative freedom. Comedian Cat Williams has exposed why many rappers die young, adding to the dark narrative surrounding the hip-hop world. That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.